Hi, my name is Jaden Gillevette. I work with busy Christian professionals who want to build stronger bodies and stronger faith. I lost 100 pounds within 6 months, and I want to help you do the same. Let's get into it. Overcoming the diet mentality wasn't about finding the perfect plan. It was about changing my perspective on food. The mental change came when I asked myself this: was I choosing the temporary pleasure of food, or was I choosing the body that I wanted? Choosing taste over my long-term goals. So let's break this down. So we're going to break this down into 4 categories. We're going to go feel, we're going to go mindset, we're going to go focus, and we're going to see outcome. And this is when you're looking at taste. So this is the basis of when you're looking at taste. You typically feel that you're having instant gratification. So you're instantly gratifying yourself when you're doing this. Essentially, from this point, what you're doing is you see the plate in front of you and you get an instant release of dopamine when you have this. Now the mindset shift going into that is, I deserve to enjoy this. And you're right. Sometimes you do deserve to enjoy this. Like, for instance, if you have been dieting for a relatively long time, or if you've been good with macros, and that's going to be in another video, you do deserve to treat yourself every once in a while. But here is the primary focus when you're continually doing this, is the flavor. You want to taste a certain thing that you really like, and that's kind of what you're going on in that regard. So it's just like, for instance, if you really like to do video editing, or if you really like certain parts about your job, you like those parts a lot more. But what you fail to realize is what makes those parts enjoyable is the nitty-gritty of the job. So, like, for instance, sometimes you got to get reports done. Sometimes you got to redo presentations. Sometimes you have to go through a season of kind of like a rocky cutscene of just grinding in order to get to this point, to where you do change from taste to what will further follow up on the difference of fuel. And this is typically your outcome. If you're in this mindset, sometimes your mindset shift changes when we do this, but often you feel guilt, or you feel like this doesn't align with health goals. And essentially at this point, it's just like you have realized from going from point A to point D, you feel instant gratification. Okay, like, yeah, I got the food. Then you go ahead like, hey, I deserve to enjoy this. It's just like, it's been a long day, you've been working your butt off, and you're like, hey, I need something good. You focus on the flavor right there, something that you really enjoy. And then you often feel guilt because this doesn't align with your health goals. This doesn't align with the body that you want. So you feel guilty about that. But what if there was a way to shift that change and then therefore not feel guilty? Let's go into the next part. This is the mindset of when you're fueling your body. So when you're currently dieting, when you're currently doing the grit work, this is how you feel, or how most people feel. So you're going on the basis of fuel. And we're going to do the same concession of mindset right here. We're going to go based on feeling. We're going to go on mindset. We're going to go on focus. And we're going to go on outcome. And this essentially is just a framework of mind of just like what is the outcome and what are the underlying feelings behind that outcome. Because I see a lot of times it's like you see an outcome, you don't know why. It's just like this is essentially breaking it down to where we can truly get to the root of the problem. So this right here is the way that you'll feel when you fuel your body, when you fill your stuff up with your system with the right stuff. So you feel in purpose. You typically feel disciplined. And also typically future focused. You're doing the work in order to achieve your future goal, which for most of you is, hey, I want a better body. I want to feel more energetic. I want to feel like I have energy at my job, or I want to look good at my job. I want to have a good body image. So we're going into the next month's mindset is I am investing into my health. And it takes a cool minute to get here, but once you start creating habits to get to this point, it's just like you're always going to be investing in yourself. This is like, for instance, if you were at work and say that you want to get better at your job, right? You want to invest in yourself in order to get better. So you ask your boss, it's like, hey, what do I do to get better? And they tell you the list out. It's just like, hey, I need you to do better on these reports. Let me get it faster. But essentially, it's just like you're going to find a system in order to feel that you're investing in whatever you're going towards. And you typically feel nourished when you're focusing on this. You feel nourished. Oh, hold up. Fueled. And more energy. So when you have this, when you fuel your body with the right things, you're always going to feel energetic, fueled, and nourished. Right here, you're going to feel satisfied because you're not filling yourself up with empty calories, like for instance chips or ice cream or any of the stuff like that. You typically feel sluggish when you do stuff like that. You probably have been in a cycle to where it's like, I have no energy. But the focus is just like you need to be able to nourish your body, fuel your body, and therefore it's going to give you more energy. And then going into the outcome is you're officially aligned with your goals long term. And with this, I know when I was 320 pounds, I felt really sluggish. I felt like I didn't have much energy. I wanted to sleep all the time. I felt like I wanted literally face plant to my desk. Hated it. And what this will do is this will allow you to now feel the energy that therefore you are prospering forward and feeling fulfilled and feeling a more deeper connection to God. I know that when I was really heavy, I didn't feel the deeper connection to God. But when I stopped doing as far as gluttony and overindulging, just like the alignment with God was a lot bigger. It's closer to God than I've ever been. So this is a 4-step framework to essentially go out and get your outcome. Once I saw food as a fuel source for the body I wanted, it was a lot easier for me to choose my habits for my long-term goals. It's not about restriction, but it's about what is best for your long-term health. And I'm about to break it down right now. Let's get into it. Really quick, if you're trying to fix your nutrition, if you're trying to fit your fitness and you feel like you're stuck, hit me back up on Big Time J. It's on my Instagram, and my team will reach out to you so that we can get you right. All right, let's get back into the video. Okay, perfect. So this is my favorite part of the video. So essentially we're going to break down it today. It's called macros or macronutrients, and there's 3 of them. So there's proteins, carbs, and fats. Proteins are essentially going to help you build muscle and slow down your metabolism. I typically like to get around 200 grams. This is for males, and then 100 grams for females. And this is just relative. Like I said, you can go ahead and put in a macro calculator to see what your specific macros are if you do want it. hit me up on Instagram, BigTimeJ72. If you want to go search out for yourself, then you can typically find this as a macro calculator on the internet. But typically what it's going to be is around 200 grams right here and 100 grams for females. Now we have carbs, and these are your two energy sources, carbs and fats. So carbs are going to be like sugars. It's going to turn to glucose, and it's going to give you a bunch of energy, so you won't be sleeping on your desk and falling asleep throughout the day. You know, you don't want to get home and then fall asleep on your couch. It's not what we want to do. We want to have energy. So carbs are going to help you do that. And typically what I suggest, I like to do this a little bit higher than most, but I typically get in anywhere from 200 to 300 grams a day, right? And essentially, this is going to help me get an energy source throughout the day. So, for instance, if I wake up and I'm not feeling my best, typically what you need to get is the carbs in your system, right? So, it's going to give you the energy source. And what this will do is give you the energy, but for females, for relative reference, is going to be 200 to 100 grams. And like I said, you can calculate these yourself, or if you need help, you know, go hit me up. And then you have your fats. Now, fats are going to help out with more of your hormones, but it's also a good energy source. And typically what I do with my clients is, like I said, is either is going to be a carb source or a fat source. And I like to keep mine relatively low so that my body fat percentage is low. I know that having a lot of fats is really good for some people, but, you know, we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about it in another video. I like to keep mine anywhere from 60 to 50 grams. And I would say for females, it's anywhere from 40 to like 30, right? And essentially what this is going to help you do is clear you up. It's going to help regulate your hormones so that, you know, you're not off balance and stuff like that. So these are 3 macronutrients. Go ahead and put it in a calculator. I promise you. This will change your life. Thank you so much for staying until the end of the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it, whatever you can to reach this message out. Today we reviewed how we feel about taste, and then how we also feel about fuel and the mindset frame on that. And we also reviewed macros today. So if this helped you out, again, like it, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.